Hermes, is it a problem? Let's talk about it. Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Clara Z and I do videos on luxury and fashion. And so in today's video, I want to talk about why I really haven't been using my Hermes bags that much. And it's just a general chit chat to think about my luxury journey and the use of my luxury bags. So I thought this would be a good video to get out there because I don't think a lot of people talk about this, but I think it's something good to talk about and share about with you. So I kind of listed out a couple of reasons on why I haven't been using my Hermes bags very much. I know it's a very hyped up bag. It's something a lot of people aspire to own. But at the end of the day, after a lot of years of collecting the bag, I can't say a lot of years, I would say since COVID, maybe for the past 4 to 5 years, I've been collecting some quota bags and some non-quota bags. Some of them I've kept, some of them I've sold, but at the end of the day, I find that I'm using my non-quota bags more and less of my Hermes bags. And even on my current lifestyle, I find that I'm not reaching for them as much. So I wanted to go over some of the reasons I found whereby why I wasn't using my Hermes bags as much. So let's have a chat about that. So the first reason is a lifestyle change. Now, over the past year, I took a career break, and so I didn't have to go to work. And because I didn't have to go to work, I found that I was not really reaching for my Hermes bags as much. Most of my day encompassed running a lot of errands, and a lot of the places that I went to required me to be hands-free or to be a bit rough with my bags. And so I was finding that I had limited occasions to use the bags, and if I really had to use an Hermes bag during that 1 year, I would say it would be either the Picotin or the mini Lindy. And so sometimes having a lifestyle change depending on the places you go or the things you do, you may or may not want to be carrying an expensive designer bag. The second reason is the environment around me. So some of you may know that I used to live in Hong Kong and I've moved to Canada. And actually, I have hardly really seen designer bags. Maybe it's because I've just been at home most of the time or the places that I visit. It's really, really rare for me to see a designer bag. Even seeing the occasional LV, Chanel, and very, very, very rare occasion Hermes, it kind of makes you feel a bit out of place to be wearing a designer bag because most people around here are carrying around like a bum bag or a Lululemon bag, and there's nothing wrong with that. You do you, but sometimes you don't really want to stick out from the crowd and you just want to blend in with the crowd. And because of that and the influence that my environment has had on me, I've been carrying my designer bags less. Now, for those of you who don't live in Asia or have never been to Hong Kong, actually you see designer bags, a lot of them, everywhere. I mean, every block you can see at least a dozen Chanel, Hermes, LV, Gucci bags, you name it. So actually carrying a designer bag is very, very common in Asia, and it's generally fairly safe. And most girls you will see on the street carrying some sort of designer bag. I mean, not everyone is carrying a designer bag, but it's actually really common to see a designer bag, whereas in Canada, not really. And the reason as to why you see a lot more in Asia versus the West could be very debatable. It could have to do with taste, it could have to do with lifestyle, or it could even have to do with cost of living, because cost of living issues are definitely very relevant for Canada. Now, the third reason is probably security. Now, in Asia, I felt relatively safe, especially to the places where I was going to. I never felt the threat I would get robbed or my purse snatched or anything like that. In fact, there were just so many designer bags, right? You may or may not be the one targeted. However, out here in Canada, because designer bags are a lot more rare, I don't know if you would be targeted because you kind of stick out because everyone else is wearing a very casual bag. And so I'm a little concerned about security. Now, it could be the case that it is very safe here, but However, security is more of an issue to me here in the West versus Hong Kong. In addition, the security in the apartments where I lived in Hong Kong was very high. I mean, even in my building, even for the food delivery person, you would be checked at several checkpoints. You had to go through different gates, you had to provide your ID. And at different gates, you would only be limited to go where you needed to go. And there were a lot of security guards in the apartment where I lived. And so definitely I felt a lot safer in Hong Kong owning or storing my bags in Hong Kong. Whereas in Canada, I'm not so sure. Reason number 4. Now, a lot of the times I was carrying my Kelly bags, they were mainly for work. And the reason for that was that a lot of the girls in the downtown district in Hong Kong or the central financial district, a lot of them carry designer bags, and it could be Hermes Kelly's or Birkin, Chanel, Goyard, you name it. There's a lot of designer bags, and it's really common to bring in a designer bag. Whereas in Canada, I'm not so sure. And I also really wonder if it's appropriate to bring in an expensive designer bag to your workplace. Now, there's a lot of debate on this, but at this point, I feel I would be quite hesitant to bring in a very nice designer bag into work, at least for now. Probably at this stage in my career, it's probably better to bring in a discreet professional looking bag, like my Celine Romy bag, where the design is quite low-key and you really can't see logos on this bag. And finally, over this past year, I have been just really busy transitioning from work to a more casual lifestyle because I was moving and I took a 1 year's long break. I didn't feel like I really had the urge or the need to use a designer bag, believe it or not. Although I love my collection and I will still maintain my collection, it really makes me think about what life could be like once I am semi-retired or retired. Will I really be using these bags when I am retired? In fact, the priority for me over this past year was just to have a good mental and physical state in my life and just transitioning into a lifestyle where I just feel very carefree. And it's been really nice to be feeling really carefree because you don't really need to think about or not too much about what you're wearing, the things you are carrying, and the bags you own, or what the next chase is. It just really frees up your time and energy, and that in itself is definitely priceless. So I'm probably going to discuss this for my 2025 mindset, but it will be a lot less about the chase and just really appreciating the small collection I have. It's become a lot more curated and thoughtful, and although I can't guarantee that in the future I may still indulge in something nice for myself, I really would like to just slow down, stop, and just enjoy and appreciate what I have as if they are brand new items instead of trying to chase the next new item month after month, day after day, and just to have a more calm feeling inside whereby I feel happy and content, if there is ever such a thing, with what I have. Although it doesn't mean I'll never buy anything anymore, but actually if I do buy anything in the future, I really need to assess how applicable it will be to my future lifestyle and whether it's really worth it, because if some of you know, it's actually really hard to sell some of these items, especially now that I've moved to Canada. And also these are really expensive items, right? And to me, the most priceless thing is my time and my health. And so I'd like to invest more of that towards my time and my health. And with this year of transition as kind of a pre-retirement preview, I realize I probably won't be using a lot of these maybe 10 or 15 years from now. So actually, maybe I don't need so many Hermes bags because my future lifestyle, or the lifestyle I envision it to be in 15 years from now, will be definitely a lot more casual. So those are just some of my thoughts about why I will be using less of Hermes or chasing the Hermes dream. I mean, definitely, if you love designer handbags and you want to treat to yourself to one, definitely go for it. Totally worth it. But in terms of where I am, in terms of my lifestyle and my life stage, I'm pretty happy with what I have. And although I won't have a lot of designer bags left, they are pieces I will treasure and hopefully get enough use out of. Hopefully, you never know, because now I've just moved to the other side of the world. But yeah, I thought this would be just like a nice chit chat to have with you, to talk more about why I haven't been using them as much. And if ever you are moving into a different life stage, this could be helpful to you, or maybe you've been thinking about that all along. So I don't see a lot of people talking about this, so I hope this is helpful for you. And if you're interested to hear or learn more about topics like this, let me know down in the section below. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It is a bit of a different chatty video, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, you can also follow me on Instagram, and if you have any additional comments or if you want to share any of your transition stories, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Thank you so much again for your time today, and I hope to see you next time. Have a fabulous week. Bye bye now.